Your host, Parker, Dan, and Angela slice and dice their way through the good.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
The bad.
You brought the devil!
There's a devil inside everyone.
And the ugly movies you love.
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
Hold your favorite films and franchises tight, because they aren't safe. In fact, it's already too late. It's time to dissect that film.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the basements. Season 2 is here upon us, and we could not be more excited. I am Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-host Dan and Angela of D&N Gaming.
Hello.
Hello.
And joining us as our first guest of the year is the man, the myth, the legend, Dustin from the Flicks and Friends podcast.
Big Daddy D.
Big
Right.
D.
I didn't know I was going to say it here, man. I thought it was just going to be funny.
We talked him into keeping it, so it's just how it is. Yeah, season 2. Yeah, we decided we're gonna just start it out. It's season 2.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. So, we're back. We're back, and we all have all of us have new mics. Dustin's still got his cool mic, but we all have new mics that are not set up properly, so it might not sound great. So cool. Welcome back, everybody.
That's rusty as ever.
How horrible it sounds. Because I didn't try very hard. Today, we are talking about, well, actually, we should break down what we're doing for the course of the next 3 months. Starting in February, of course, right now, as you're listening to this, we are talking about films from 1985. Because for each month, over the course of the next 3 months, we're going to be talking about films that came out the years we were born. So we're starting. Dan's already gone. We're not even 2 minutes into this recording. Dan already walks off.
That's it. He said, "Go on now."
Jesus Christ.
He had to let the cat in, or you'd hear knocking on the door like
Yeah, the whole
cat.
Damn you, cat! Get out of here.
Big Daddy D's in there. I must speak with him.
So yeah, we're talking about films that came out the years we were born. Angela, being the oldest member of the crew here, was born in 1985. So this month we are talking about movies that came out in 1985. Each week, each of us will be choosing our own movie. Well, with the exception of the choices of whosever month it is. So at the end of this month, Patreon will be choosing between 3 movies, and that will be the one we cover for the Angela's pick. So Angela got to pick 3 picks.
Wait till you see what I pick.
Yeah, so make sure if you want to be part of that vote, go to patreon.com/dissect that film. At the $1 tier, you'll be able to vote for whatever movie it is. But
I've ever
today,
picked 3 movies that were so far apart in what they are.
yeah,
Be there or be
Square.
rectangular.
rectangle.
Oh, square, sorry. Today, though, we are talking about Dan's pick, and Dan chose. Actually, Dan, why don't you tell us what you chose?
I picked, and for very frivolous reasons, but I picked 1985 Silver Bullet. And I picked it for two reasons. Well, this isn't a reason, but I didn't know anything about this movie. I've heard of it, but I don't know about it. Because it's Stephen King, and my wife loves Stephen King. And I generally enjoy Stephen King's work. As far as his movies, I don't read. I unga bunga, rocks and stuff. And then because I wasn't sure if she was going to pick it, so I kind of picked it for her. And werewolves are fun, so why not?
So, Dan, have you ever seen this movie?
Nope. Didn't know anybody that was in it until I sat down and watched it.
Okay. Angela, have you ever seen this movie?
No.
I mean, I know people in it, but I didn't know if it was in
say,
it beforehand.
I
just watched Silver Bullet. Like, I knew nothing about it other than it was a werewolf film.
The way you explained it, I'm like...
Yeah. I mean, I know people in it, though.
Yeah. We know a lot of people in it.
Well, since you both have never seen this movie, I'll talk about my history with this movie, and that is on TV all the time growing up. It used to be on TNT, I think, or USA. It was on one of those channels. when I was growing up. And to be honest, this was the first time I'd ever watched it from beginning to end. It was always like I would jump into it and it'd be like halfway through the movie or it'd be the end or the beginning. And I never would watch the entire movie. And another reason why I'd hear about this movie was, I think, talked about on the, what was that? The documentary that Shudder did. They did the 3-part documentary.
In Search of Darkness?
In Search of Darkness, right. I think they talked about it in one of the 3 series that they did. And then Dustin would talk about it all the time because he would post that he got like the Blu-ray and then he had bought it on VHS. And I think I was listening to like Epic Film Guys talk about like their top 5 Stephen King adaptations, and they talked about it on one as part of their top 5. And I was like, I need to finally sit down and watch this. And then when we were going through our picks, Dan's like Silver Bull, and I was like, finally an opportunity for me to finally see this movie from beginning to end, because all I remember hearing about was Corey Haim's insane wheelchair and Gary Busey's in it. And I love 80s and 90s Gary Busey. I mean, he's just the king of just the most batshit crazy characters you'll ever see on film. And this was before his motorcycle accident, and he was still
when he was speaking in full sentences.
Yes, yes. But he still had those crazy eyes and those big old teeth. But yeah, this was interesting. So when I watched it yesterday, I was debating on whether or not I want to buy the Blu-ray. I'm going to buy the Blu-ray, but I didn't buy it in time to watch it. So I was like, oh, I'll rent it on Amazon. It was $3.99 to rent it, and then it was like $4.50 to buy it. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm buying this on digital. What's the point of me renting it? For 50 cents more, I could own it. Well,
there you go.
As you know, as much as you own a digital copy of something. But yeah, that's my history with this movie. Just something I had never watched until yesterday. Dustin, tell us your history with this movie.
So
show him the tattoo.
I don't got one.
No. It should be on your dick.
Oh, wait. Yeah, that's what Stephen King called his dick moving forward, was the silver bullet.
Hell yeah.
But it was the same for me, man. Like, I would always catch this on TV, and growing up, I always thought this movie started with the swamp scene. Like, I always thought, like, in my mind, this is where the movie starts. It wasn't, long after I finally actually got to watch the whole thing, but I currently own 3 iterations of this movie. I got it on VHS, DVD, and I own the Shout Factory Blu-ray. I highly recommend that Shout Factory Blu-ray because the transfer is beautiful. The behind-the-scenes stuff is great. There's 3 different commentaries. It's well worth it.
They just dropped the 4K.
So I'm weird about it. Like, I'm weird about 4Ks in general, dude. Like,
yeah,
because I put out a post a while back about buying Pan's Labyrinth on 4K, and the whole 4K restoration process is they're supposed to grab it from its original status to, remaster it. Pan's Labyrinth remastered the 2K. So I'm just weird about it in general. So I'll always just buy. I like the fucking art for this, dude. The art for this rips.
Oh, it's awesome.
But this movie, because you're speaking of 1985, last October we did a top 5 80s horror movies on the show with Sean from Movie Dumpster. Yep. This was on my list.
Oh, that's right.
And
it's a shame he's dead, but it's
I'm just kidding. And the Amazon Anacondas, yeah. And then Sneaky Peeky for, I guess, Parker right now, our Patreons, we did a top 5 1985 movies list last night.
Ooh.
This is on my list. So this movie, I'll always check. This is my favorite werewolf movie of all time. The werewolf design in it's fucking great. The transformation scene, the fever dream, Corey Haim's, Scary Busey, all of them, dude. The whole thing is just so fucking good. I'll always champion it, and I'll always recommend this movie. It's a pretty good gateway one too. It's not too scary, but it's scary enough to where it will scare your fucking kids, But yeah, that's my history with it, man. I love it. So,
alrighty. Well, let's go through some of the stuff, behind the scenes stuff with this movie. This was directed by Dan Attias. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but this was his last film he ever directed. He would go on to do television, and he's still doing television to this day, to the point that he
Good.
wrote a book about like the best way to become a director for television. So
Do Silver
good
Bullet.
for him. Yeah.
I'm not making fun of Silver Bullet. Just
This was written by Stephen King himself. This was put into different hands throughout the process, but Stephen King was ultimately the one who made the final script for what we got on screen. This was based on a novella called Cycle of the Werewolf, which originally was supposed to be a calendar. So Stephen King was supposed to collaborate with Bernie Wrightson, who was an illustrator, who made these beautiful like scenes for this calendar, and each month was supposed to be a different part of this story. So literally every month it was supposed to be like a picture, and then Stephen King was supposed to write like an insert for that month based on the picture and all that. Well, Stephen King got ahead of himself, kind of went a little overboard and wrote too much. So he just came out with the idea of, why don't I just write a short?
Dude,
we're getting there.
He coked too much, yeah.
Oh yeah. So they decide to do a short story, and Wrightson's illustrations were just inserted into the short story. And I think I'm gonna try to find this. I really want to read it because I heard it's actually really good. And pretty much the short story is pretty much what you see in the movie, but it's like every month there is an attack, like, and it goes for 12 months. So Dino De Laurentiis, who was a crazy Italian producer who literally produced about 7,000 projects throughout his career. He did King Kong from 1976. He probably did a bunch of other King Kong movies later.
King Kong lives. I don't know.
He did the later Hannibal Lecter movies. He's
Stephen King persuaded him to do Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness as well.
Oh, there we go.
Because he loved Evil Dead King loved Evil Dead so much, and it was like during Maximum Overdrive time. And he's like, you know what? There's this one movie that I really feel like you should fucking fund, and it's called Evil Dead 2. And rest is history.
Thank you,
because he was a huge advocate for Evil Dead when that came. Mm-hmm. That's why his quote is on the cover of like every Evil Dead copy you see.
Yeah.
But the production for this movie was crazy because there was like so many pieces of the crew that didn't speak English. You had like the cinematographer, who I think was Italian, Armando Nunuzzi, who would later be the cinematographer for Stephen King's one and only directorial outing, which is Maximum Overdrive.
That truck just called me an asshole.
Who made who?
I fucking love that movie, dude.
A crazy story is that would be the movie that would Armando would lose an eye making Maximum Overdrive as the cinematographer, but he still worked after that. So yeah,
became a preacher and a werewolf.
Stephen King, yeah. Fucking Stephen King, wacko man. This cast is crazy. We have Gary Busey, of course, as Uncle Red. I love Gary Busey, of course. Lethal Weapon, Under Siege, Predator 2. I mean, the list goes on and on with
Big League.
Yeah, just so many great things. We have Everett McGill as Reverend Lowe, who was in Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs. Why can't I think of some of the other things that he's done? He was in Under Siege 2, Dark Territory. He was in the original Dune, David Lynch's Dune. He was in, and then his first film was Quest for Fire in 1981. We have Corey Haim, who I think was like 2 years before The Lost Boys. I think Lost Boys came out in 1987. So this was like pre that. This was like Corey Haim, like before he was big. This was if you think of like Corey Feldman being in Gremlins, like that's what Corey Haim was in this movie. Like he was not well known yet. He plays Marty Coleslaw. I'm just gonna call him
Coleslaw. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, me too.
You've heard of Murphy's Law, right, Angela? Have I told you this yet?
No.
You've heard of Coleslaw, right? Yeah, it's thinly sliced cabbage.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my. We have Megan Follows as his sister Jane. She did a lot of TV work. We have Terry O'Quinn, the stepfather himself. Terry O'Quinn as Sheriff Joe Haller. We have Bill Smidrovich as Andy. The entire time I'm watching this movie, I'm like, where do I I feel like I know this guy. Like, where is he? He's in X-Files. He was in NYPD Blue, which were shows I watched a lot growing up. He was in Air Force One, Independence Day. So maybe that's where I saw him. I don't know. Let's see. There was one other guy, which I can't remember his name. The gas station attendant. We talked about him, I think, twice on this show.
You want me to check the oil?
Yeah.
He was in Mrs. Doubtfire, and did we talk about one more movie with him? I can't remember.
Yes.
What?
Was he Leprechaun?
What'd you say?
He was the sheriff in Leprechaun.
Oh, that's right. He was in Leprechaun. Yeah. Yes, you're right. And then we have Tova Felsha was the voice of the Jane in the narration that was so unnecessary in this movie.
Oh, go ahead.
She was in The Walking Dead. She was I guess a pretty prominent character for a couple years in that show.
Oh.
Yeah. She was in Law and Order. Yeah.
Everything.
This had a budget of $7 million. It grossed $12.4 million. And it was released October 11th, 1985.
Well, this had a good timing.
Yeah.
The day before your birthday.
October 11th is my wife's birthday.
Oh.
Mine's the 12th. All the good people are born in October. Just saying.
I just want to point out on IMDb, scroll down for just a second. This is not a political thing, so just don't think of that. I looked over at Kent Broadhurst, and I was like, Biden? And then I was like, oh, this is not, I just looked over to see his picture. He looks like Joe Biden. If you just glance, really fast at his shit over here, that was it. There's nothing more to it than
You need
that.
glasses, because
I just looked real quick.
Because I thought his last name was
Oh,
Bratwurst.
he played, what was that, Brady's dad?
Yeah, it's Brady's dad.
Yeah, he's a famous painter, I guess.
Just really quick glance on our screen. I was like,
I clicked on his name. He was showing some of his artwork. And
dude, he's in Walker, Texas Ranger.
One episode.
Whoa!
Walker, Texas Ranger.
I love that movie. The show. I grew up watching that all the time.
In the eyes of a ranger.
All right. Well,
that's where the Ranger's going to be.
We need more. We definitely need Chuck Norris on this show at some point. We've not done that.
Well, there's a possibility that could happen at some point, Dan. Wink. Wink, wink. All right. Are we ready?
No. Let's do it.
Ready? The first time we're going to do this. Dissect that.
Film.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot we're doing that now. Fuck the ball. I dropped it.
That's okay. It's the first episode back, guys. It's not going to be very smooth. It's like we've never done this before. It's all right. We're trying new things, people. Just take it or leave it. Tell us if it's bad or good. Whatever.
Hey, we're having
fun.
The
movie opens up to a full moon, and
Ironic,
I was like, full moon rising. I don't know where that came from, but I just started singing in my head when that happened.
No, you got a song stuck in your head too? I just seen this dude's name on here was Danzig, and I just started thinking Mother. Right, carry on.
So we are at a train yard. This guy's working on the train tracks. He's
working on the railroad, you might say.
All living long day, yo.
3 songs. Come on, let's keep going.
I had more, but I got to write them down.
Yeah,
this whole time there's a lot of howling at the moon.
Oh
yes.
Yes.
But they're not barking at the moon.
No. Bark at the moon. Some Ozzy coming out here.
Heck yeah.
He's probably been drinking a lot too. You know, he's probably been enjoying himself. It's late at night. He's like, no one's gonna.
He seems like it.
This.
I think it's because like he's like the town drunk. Like that's what is like depicted of him. Like they're like, yeah, he was just fucking trash this whole time, and that's unfortunate for him. You know.
Yeah, because it's funny because when he gets freaking destroyed by this werewolf. That's the thing about this movie is originally they wanted, one of the original scripts was to have this movie be very much like Jaws, where you don't see the werewolf until like close to the end of the movie. But I guess Dino De Laurentiis was like, nah, I want him like boom, right out of the fucking rip. And so, yeah, we don't see him in full.
It's letterboxed. It's like you get a vignette.
Yeah, you see the eyes.
Yeah,
you see the claws as he swipes the dude's head off.
It's clean, dude.
Great effect
Fucking
too.
Clean.
Love the effects of his head coming off and his head just sitting on the train track the next day when the sun comes up.
So real quick about that, I don't mean to interrupt, but the guy's name is Jeff Jarvis, and there's Michael McCracken and Michael McCracken Jr. Like that's like a father-son duo, and this guy like they got to do all the effects that weren't the actual werewolf. So they did all of the transformation stuff and the fever dream stuff. And they actually met on a little movie that Parker brought up on your end of year recap, and a movie we've covered. They did all of the robot shit for Ice Pirates together. Yeah, man. But they got to do because Stan Winston turned this down and referred them to do this movie to Dino.
Interesting.
Yeah, but their shit's really good. I fucking love it, man. It's good shit.
So yeah, he's dead. He's very dead. And I do like the shot the next morning though, where the sun's up and the train kind of is like coming straight toward the camera, and it's like to make it look like, oh, it could have been a train. It could have, this is what's going to fool the town into thinking, oh, he was a drunk. He probably fell asleep on the tracks or got in an accident on the tracks, and easy explanation. And then we get the weird narration. And I'm like,
yeah,
what is this? I did not like it from the start. And once it kept going, I'm like, it just doesn't fit into the movie. Because here's the thing. The narration is done by an older version of Jane.
Mm-hmm.
But you never get any indication of what year it is currently, like during the events of the movie. You don't know what year she's at. You don't know who she's talking to. Like, I felt like there should have been something at the end that kind of gave us like, oh, today, like it's an older Jane. She's talking to she's just like telling the story to somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't even have to be that long. Just like a minute or so of just that kind of could have been the end. But instead, it's like it just doesn't feel very well put into the movie. It could have been taken out completely, and I would have been okay with it. But we meet the sheriff, though, the stepfather himself, and he is presenting. What they're trying to collect money for. They were doing like a can drive, right? Is that what they're talking about?
Recycling drive of some type.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe a new ambulance. They got like a picture in the background here. We're watching it right here of like an ambulance, maybe new equipment for the city, for the like police and ambulance, fire trucks. I don't know.
I want to say they also kind of bring up the point that Reverend Lowe is new to the town during this point too.
He didn't click for me as being important initially.
Just FYI to everybody listening, if you haven't seen this movie, please watch it. Because I'm about to spoil the end of the movie right now. I knew he was the werewolf from the beginning. Like, I knew as soon as I saw him, I knew he was the werewolf. Like, I don't know why. It's the jaw. Of course, as the movie goes on, it makes it more known that he is without like blatantly telling you. But yeah, it just didn't. I don't know, man. I guess I was just disappointed in myself for figuring it out so easily. I was like, oh yeah, he's new in town, and they're having a problem with a werewolf. Oh, that seems pretty easy to figure out. But
I wish they would have. Maybe. Oh, go ahead.
I don't know. It didn't take away from my enjoyment of the movie. I just was like, oh yeah, 100%. That's who it is.
That's poor Snake.
I didn't catch that he was new to the town right away, so that didn't connect right away. But
I don't think I did either. I don't think I heard that.
I didn't know who it was. Like I was like up in the air who it was. Like 'cause I didn't register him as being significant. Like in the beginning, it was like, oh, these were people just talking about shit. So
Yeah, because I know he goes into like a breakdown mode with I think he's talking to Corey Haim. He's like, yeah, so I came to this town, then I had to roll into this town. Like when all that shit it gets figured out, I feel like that's when the lore dump happens. But I want to say it's brought up, like they introduce him. It's the 80s, man.
Yep.
Gotta love it. It is the 80s.
So yeah, we meet Jane. We meet her brother Marty, who is in a wheelchair, but he's in like the most badass wheelchair ever. It's literally a gas-powered wheelchair.
Yeah.
And he's hanging out with his friend Brady, who wants to play a prank on Jane. They end up, messing with her with a snake. And at first, I'm like, oh man, this kind of sucks. You got to feel bad for the cripple kid. And then he's like really like sad about his sister being upset. Like she falls into a puddle and at first he kind of like laughs at it, but then like Brady goes a little too far and he's just like, oh, I'm sorry. And like he's trying to like be nice to her the whole time and she's just awful to him. Like I understand it sucks the situation she was in at that moment, but like later on when he is like really trying really hard to be like a good little brother and she's just like, I fucking hate you. I hate you so much.
I hate you and you're not fucking working legs. Blah, blah.
How dare you be born like that?
Stand up, you fucking coward, and walk.
Everything is always about Marty.
I know that's not how it works.
It's about Marty.
Yeah, dude, I will say that is one plot point that I wish there was some more closure on in this movie, but we'll get to it later.
What, figuring out why?
Well, no, not even the why. I don't give a shit why he is, but like this whole time it's his sister ragging on him.
Yeah.
About like and their parents about like, why do you keep shitting on me? Like I understand that he's has these physical disabilities, but it's not always her fault. It's not always like I get it, and it seems like the parents are constantly pushing him off on her because it seems like most of the time they don't want to fucking deal with it.
No,
and it's not fair. And like Marty at one point should have been like, "You guys need to get off. I fuck up. It's not always her fault. I fuck up." And like that was I was hoping would have happened in the movie. But,
I feel like that's most movies where you have like, a kid with a disability. It's always the younger sibling.
I would say it's always that's the younger sibling syndrome. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, now can you watch your brother? Can you watch like it's always that. And it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing, parents?
Responsible for him getting out of the vehicle and making sure he's okay, and
like she has to do like everything for him. It's crazy. Like I was the youngest between my brother and me, and I always got in trouble. Like I was the fuck up. Like always. My brother's the one that didn't.
I was not.
So I was the flip flop.
I was the youngest of 4.
So Jane, when she storms off because she's all pissed off because she's all dirty, she overhears an argument between a couple about the fact that one of them is pregnant and the other one's like, it ain't mine, and just leaves. But then you find out it probably wasn't his because did her husband?
He was married. Is what that's what the thing is. Like he's like, don't come around here saying that shit around my wife.
Oh, okay.
That's why he was like, don't announce.
Right there. Yeah.
He's like, it's not mine. Don't come around here saying that around my wife. And then he stormed off.
Because later on when she's at home, like her whole thing was she was going to end her life. Mm-hmm. And I guess her husband had already done that because there's like a picture of him on the desk and she talks about it. And then she puts the pills in the tray, and then she gets attacked by a werewolf, and I was like, Jesus Christ! Like it's not like it's so sudden, like it's gonna happen because like it goes from her bedroom, her talking to herself in the mirror, and then you go outside and you see like the hand of the werewolf as he's like climbing up the side of the house. But boy, it is brutal. Like once that werewolf busts into that room and just attacks her, it's like the close-ups of the claws and tearing her apart. And then you have, which I'm guessing is her mother downstairs.
I would assume
hearing everything, and she gets the revolver and she's slowly making her way up the stairs, and then she busts into the room and it's just blood all over the bed, and she's like,
The
and I'm
drapes!
like, jeez, I just wasn't expecting the sheer of just like shock value of these kills. Like, I've seen a lot of werewolf movies, but like the kills in this movie are brutal.
Yeah.
Dude, I was looking at the pills this girl was taking, like these
Horse
big ass
pills.
pills,
These are
and I
horse
thought,
pills, man.
I know, I thought they were the little dinosaurs you put in water and they fold out in a little sponge. Like, how are you
sponges.
killing yourself? Like, how are you killing yourself with these? What the fuck are they gonna? What are you doing, lady? These are the wrong ones. This doesn't say sleep. It says
How did she
sponge.
die? Well, we pulled a bunch of foamy dinosaurs out of her stomach. I think she. Oh no!
I'm not sure if that killed her or the mauling. I'm really confused. How do you get prescribed foam like sponge dinosaurs from the?
Oh Lord!
You're really down in the dumps. Just put this in water. It'll cheer you up. Don't take them. This is like take with water. It says put in water.
Jeez. So yeah, you find out that after this attack, mostly it's one townsman named Andy who is just hell-bent on just being against the sheriff. He is just like he's in the bar, he's trying to like rile up the whole bar. He's like, yeah, the sheriff's not doing shit. He's like, people are dying, he's just standing around with his thumb up his ass. I don't know. And then I look at the barkeep and I'm like, oh my God, that's Elaine Bennis's dad from Seinfeld. I don't know if no one here watches Seinfeld, but I do.
Nope.
And I noticed that's who that was. But he had the bat. He was the gruffy guy.
Peacemaker, yeah.
Yeah. So we then see Marty and a girl that I'm guessing he has a thing for. He brings her home, and we get to meet her lovely father. He's a pleasant guy. He's so fucking brutal. He pretty much is talking about how he's like, yeah, fuck the cripples, you know, and they just take them, put them all in a fucking pile, set them on fire. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, we're just gonna gas them or something.
They just all just end up on welfare.
Dude, it's
I'll take care of them myself. I'm like, whoa.
This is a Stephen King character and a fucking half, dude.
Yes,
This guy right here.
Downing freaking Coors banquets like they're going out of style. My God. And the craziest thing is I never knew
Banquet
for the
meals,
longest
yeah.
time that the Silver Bullet name came from his wheelchair originally. That his wheelchair was called Silver Bullet.
Well, that's like and you've seen the It movies, the newer ones, right?
Yeah, but it was called Silver.
I think
in the original
his
one
bike
too.
and his bike.
It's called Silver.
It's the Silver Bullet is what it's supposed to be. James McAvoy's childhood bike.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
also
yeah.
the Silver Bullet.
Oh, they called it the Silver Bullet in the remakes. I thought it was just called Silver because in the
pretty sure it says Silver Bullet on it.
Yeah, you're probably right. I know that in the miniseries, as in the book, it was just called Silver because it was based off the Lone Ranger. So like, and anytime he would get on the bike, he'd do the "Hi ho, Silver, away," and which is not a joke. That's literally what he did in the book. And then that's my thing. That's my favorite saying. I love it so much. Yes. Nonsense, poopy pants.
Friends, rodents, lend me your rears.
Oh Lord. And we get to meet the gas station attendant who we talked about before. He's great. The full fact he like fills him up with gas, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to check your oil? You want me to clean your windshield?" And I just love that. I just love that Marty is just like into all of it. He's into all the jokes.
Yeah,
nothing bothers him. He's just laughing about everything. I'm like, this kid is accepting who he is, and I like that. So we then go back to Tammy's house and with her wonderful father as he is yelling at the TV because there's a wrestling match on. Yeah, he is yelling.
Bust his chops.
Bust
his chops.
And he and it's crazy because like he hears something outside, and I don't know about you, but I don't ever like unless you have a farm and you have animals you have to watch over. Like if I'm hearing some weird stuff outside, why the fuck do I care?
Let alone when you know there's like a town-wide fucking
curfew going
I
on.
don't want to say pandemic, but like a situation that's happening in your town
People
where
are
I don't know,
dying.
people are getting mutilated. I'm
Right.
not gonna go outside.
Why am I going outside?
Get the
I mean,
fuck
he's also
outta here.
really drunk.
Oh yeah, like
So he
he's
goes out
like,
there.
Courage. There you go.
damn
Yeah.
crippled kids out there breaking my pots.
Yeah, they're stepping all over my flowers.
How are they stepping, Dad? They can't walk.
What the
Dude, and he
fuck?
grabs the dude. Listen, he grabs the worst. Listen, I've seen his rack of rifles. He's got like 2 break actions. He's got like a 12 and a 4 gauge and a bolt action rifle. Of all 3, like I get the shotgun, but like, why would you do the one with minimal return shot, like follow up shots?
Maybe he just has issues holding a gun.
Maybe. I don't know, man. This guy looks familiar as fuck.
Maybe it was
though.
the only guns that the production company could get.
It-
so that's
it
why
could
he had
be.
those guns.
It's just my thought. Like,
But yeah, his attack scene is pretty cool. I like the whole like cat and mouse thing inside the greenhouse, and the wolf is like peering through the foliage inside, but then it gets him from underneath, breaking the boards. And I love that it's not just the wolf just pulls him under; he like pulls him to a point where the board breaks and impales him in the stomach, and then later pulls the rest of them in there. I thought that was a really creative kill.
I love his kill, mind you, because I was not expecting that. That was not expecting how I was expecting. Dude, I remember his other role. I knew I fucking remembered this dude. All right, he plays what? Baffico, James A. Baffico.
That's his name.
What's
Wooly.
his name? Wooly. He's the racist cop at the beginning of Dawn of the Dead when they raid the apartment building.
With the
screaming about the blacks and the Hispanics just shooting out.
Okay.
So is he just like typecast as like a racist?
He's the bigot. Like, I'll call him up. He's a great bigot.
You're great at being that just piece of shit bigot guy.
Hey, you remember that?
You want to be in
your role? You remember this Stephen King? I know Stephen King. I'm not doing this. Stephen King comes up. You remember that Dawn of the Dead? You remember when you were in that and you didn't like colored folk? Well, let's do that same thing, but with crippled people.
Well, that's the thing. Stephen King did write this movie, so
I'm glad you looked that up. I did not realize that was him.
So after this kill, the town goes into high alert. They go into they have a curfew. Of course, you get the little montage. Everybody's kind of like, get in there, get home quickly, grab your children. Like the kid who's like playing in his front yard, like, hey, and the mom's like, oh, get in the house, Timmy.
But my ball, fuck your ball. Like,
so we're down at like the park by this pond, and Marty is climbing a tree. I'm like, how the fuck did you even get up there, man? Like, you got this kid has got some beast upper body strength.
His core strength, yeah, but like,
holy
how's he gonna get the fuck down? Like, he can't jump. How the fuck is he?
But that's the thing. We saw him get out.
But you see him climb down the lattice of his house.
We saw him down the ladder. We saw him get out of the tree.
Beast.
But I mean, the ladder at his house, he has somewhere to put his hands like this, but not the tree. Like there's like a 7-foot fall from the branches to the ground, dude.
I just love his sister shows up. She's just like, oh my God, why do I gotta keep helping you?
And I know
your legs just work, please? Just one time?
Right. His legs would break his fall.
Yeah.
You can't feel them anyways.
I was about to say, not making fun of people with disabilities.
No,
I just can't
absolutely
help it. There's too much ammunition.
I don't know how
right here. Justin's never coming back.
It's a movie, guys. It's a movie. Hey, right off the rip here in season 2, we got to try to get another 1-star review, okay?
I mean,
so I try. I fucking try. I can't help it. It's like put in front of my face. Like I have to.
So she comes to take him home, and his friend Brady sticks around because he wants to keep flying his kite. And unfortunately, he's our next victim.
Well, Marty kind of pauses for a minute. You think he's got like some premonition, like some shit's about to go down?
Oh yeah, he looks at him with like that look, like this is going to be the last time I ever see you.
He might just be like concerned at the fact of the situation too.
Yeah, could
I didn't know if this was like one of those. I know Stephen King has like a telepathy thing, or with like kids and stuff is kind of like a motif in some of his projects. So I don't know if that was like a nod to that.
Ooh, all his books are set in the same timeline. I wonder where this one fits in.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be Maine, like every other Stephen King.
Castle Rock, yeah.
Yeah.
Except the house you said was where? The house. The
Oh,
exteriors.
it's filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
But up until like right now, like the werewolf has had like morals as to why he's killing who he's killing.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, but
Yeah.
I like to think about it like the closer to the full moon it gets, the more animalistic he gets.
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah,
like
which they talk about towards the end. Yeah.
Yeah, earlier in his cycle, he's more like mentally stable to, you know, control the werewolf, and then at the end it's like full on beast. So
yeah, that's what we were trying to figure out. Like, why Brady of all people? Like, I guess it was a time and place thing, like you talked about, or like just like literally the cycle.
I don't know. I think we had the lady who was about to kill herself with the pills, the dinosaur sponge pills. There was
the way to go.
The drunk husband who probably beat the shit out of his wife
and daughter.
Oh, I'm sure
and
he
daughter.
did.
And then the friend, you know, just like to play pranks. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like how fucking bad is that?
That's fair.
And Brady's kill is the only Brady's death is the only one that's not shown, which is understandable because it's a child.
Sure.
Especially, you know, because that was, I mean, you didn't really see a lot of kids dying on screen back in those days.
I welcome it now.
Oh, absolutely. You know, like anyone can die on film. Come on.
But I feel like his was
it's
the
not
most
real.
impactful
It's a
to the
fucking movie.
Fuck them all, no mercy.
I feel like his was the most impactful to the whole story, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
The reaction the dad gave, and then that's the motivation for the town to say "fuck it," lynch mob style, you know, and because at that point they don't know what it is.
Yeah, because when the sheriff discovers the kite, it's not just like the fact is like, oh yeah, Brady died. That's the next kid. No, that's literally like it shows the sheriff like dragging the very bloody kite. He's shaking. He's like saying a prayer as he's carrying it. So yeah, it's very impactful. A lot of these scenes are. It's just like if this movie surprised me every time. Every time we get to another scene, I'm like, holy shit! I was not expecting it to be this way.
Yeah, like he tries to stop the dad from seeing the body.
Oh yeah, trying to tackle him pretty much.
Yeah.
So the town turns against the law. You have Andy trying to rile everybody up to pretty much go out into the woods and hunt whatever is killing everybody. And you get the whole thing where the sheriff comes in and says what he's got to say. He's like, you know, I'm the law. You got to follow my lead. Like, we can't be doing this like independent justice type thing. And it's when everybody in the town is like, oh, yeah, maybe he's right. Probably isn't good. And then, yeah, the dad just comes out of nowhere. He's like,
lays that thing fucking hammer down.
He's like, that thing tore my son to pieces. And then, like, whips out the picture of him. Like, my son was torn to pieces. And they're like, okay, fuck you, sheriff. We're going out. And so, you know, everybody goes out. And then this is when the Reverend shows up. And he's trying to stop everybody from going out, too. And I feel this is where I figured out that he was the wolf. Because of just his reaction to it all.
Because he's not intervened or said anything really of significance up to this point.
I understand, like, he's the Reverend. He's like the new person in town. Like, why would he come down here and like try to stop all this from happening? I mean, there could be other reasoning behind it, but I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me other than the fact of like, oh, he like, I mean, you find out later from him that, you know, as Dustin was saying, like there's his way of justifying why he was doing it all, to the fact is like he's at a stage right now where he feels guilty for what he's doing.
Exactly.
Like because he doesn't have control over the wolf, but as the movie progresses, he is being consumed by the wolf. And so when you start to see that Marty is discovering different things about him, like for instance, like Marty, so with everything that's going on, you have Brady's funeral, then later you have the mob going out and, you know, hunting whatever. They don't even know what they're hunting. They're just trying to find
somebody
something.
Or something.
Yeah. And a group of people go into the swamp, which did you notice that like the film grade drops in this swamp scene, because it's covered in fog, the whole scene is very foggy. It's not even just the fact that there's fog like at their waist. It just turns the entire film grade to like a fog effect, which I actually didn't mind. It kind of threw me off at the beginning, but I was like, okay, it makes sense. And this is when you get the wolf kills where it's all in the fog. Like you don't see the wolf's head. It's just like the arms come up. I love the fact where the guy with the bat, he's like, he gets a couple swings in, and then you see the bat in the wolf's hand, and he's it's in. You get the dude who gets like clawed in the back and thrown, and then it's a bloodbath in there. And then immediately, I love how it goes from the attack, and it cuts so drastically. It's not like a slow pan to the next scene. It is literally like quick cut. We're at a funeral, and there's 5 caskets in front of the reverend, and he is trying his best to make it like to say something that will appease the town, because it's like, what are we doing? We're having a funeral every other day. What do we do? And this is when crazy shit starts happening, and this is the scene that I just was like, what the fuck is going on? Because this is
my favorite. It's my favorite part of the whole movie. Is this sequence?
Definitely, probably my favorite part of this movie is where Brady's dad speaks out. Everybody is giving the Reverend like this dirty look, and they're like looking like they're starting to turn animalistic, and then they start to transform into wolves, and it's so good. I love the organist who's over there freaking rolling around as the wolf. You get the hand busted through the casket.
What was that?
I said I called it because you said it was a werewolf organ, and I said it was a worgen.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, like this one. Yeah, I like the one that came at the casket. I was like, that motherfucker ain't dead yet.
No.
I'm not quite dead yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
And at first, I thought it was like actually happening. I thought like, oh shit, is this like a town wide thing where like there's a bunch of people who are werewolves? No, it was all a dream. Oh, a nightmare.
Sweaty dream.
No, because I said,
fever dream.
Is he on something, or is he dreaming? And Dad's like,
and you later, and when you actually get confirmed, the confirmation that he is the werewolf, it's this fever dream was because this is his guilt for what he's doing,
and that's a lot of like that's like a staple in any werewolf movie. Like anyone who is ever cursed with being a werewolf, that is the internal fight they have is. They're always afraid of turning someone else into this fucking monster. Yeah. And I feel like that's whole, like he didn't want to do what he did, but he always has that fear of, well, what if I actually fucking cause a chain reaction? And that's what I like the most about it. It's just the humanistic traits of Reverend Lowe fighting this fucking monster. It's so good.
Very good. And I love the whole thing of him like just trying to like say things to appease the audience and to having some faith in that this will all end, and then everything just kind of just spirals out of control until you find out it's a fever dream. So we haven't talked much about Red, who is played by Gary Busey. He shows up. He shows up like way earlier in the film. This is like him and Marty have a really good relationship. Marty is a big fan of his uncle, but his uncle is an alcoholic, and his mom's not a big fan of him. He's the drunkle. And so you then like later in the movie, this is when Red builds Marty the updated like motorcycle wheelchair, like a 3-wheel motorcycle, like. What the hell?
Your mom, how fast it goes.
It's got a fucking wheelie bar on the back.
Yeah, he is whipping. Holy crap! So yeah, we get that whole scene where he's like riding up and down the street with that thing. But then he found out that the fireworks display at the carnival or the fair in town got canceled. So Red gives him some fireworks. He's like, you can go out and. Set them off. Just don't be by the house.
Like any.
So
cool
he goes.
would.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
So this is when he has an adventure. He goes down to like the swamp. He goes onto like the bridge. He sets off some fireworks. The fireworks are freaking awesome. I love the one that like spirals. I always loved
Those
those.
things
When
are
I was a
no.
kid. Those things are
I
sick.
fucking hate them things. The kids always get them. We stop them from buying them because they always fly off and hit the fucking neighbor's house. I don't want to pay for a window.
You never know where
One,
they're gonna
they've shot at
go.
us like a time or two.
Yes, we've had
It's
to
just
run.
death. It's just death. But some of the rockets we like.
Just death.
To be honest, though, some of the rockets are not like straight up and down. They're two separate pieces stuck together, and sometimes they're cockeyed. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna like stand over here behind something.
These rockets shoot pretty high in the air and have a pretty decent explosion, and usually they go up. But one of them we literally had to go up like 3 feet, bend 90 degrees straight down our road. And I was like, well, I'm glad nobody was driving up and down that road at that time.
Parker, you heard it here first. Cockeyed and perfect explosions.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But that's what we kind of passed by. I love this movie.
Just as long as it's not an early explosion.
No, it's
premature explosions.
Done. I know we've already talked about it real quick, but the whole church scene where everyone's turning. I was watching a little thing on it earlier, and Jarvis and Michaels were talking about they had to take everyone out of their makeup at the end of it, and there was always one guy who never would want to get out of his makeup. You know, they're like, okay, whatever, fucking float your boat, dude. And it was a week. That whole church scene was like a week-long shoot, and they're like, by the end of it, they finally asked him, like, well, why don't you ever want us to take you out of this fucking costume? He goes, well, because when I leave here, I go to sex parties, and people, the girls there really like being fucked by a werewolf. Dude, it's fucking wild, man. They're like, all right, man.
Not what I was expecting you to say.
Whatever works
at all.
I mean,
but hey, more power.
Role playing.
More.
Anyways,
power
back to where
we were. If you've sat that long getting your makeup done, make the most of it. Just
yeah. I mean, Team Jacob.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, so
at least he doesn't sparkle.
So yeah, Marty is setting off his fireworks, and this draws out the werewolf, and it gets pretty close until Marty shoots the rocket right into its eye, and he, flies home, hides in his room, and this is what causes like everybody to get more involved around him. So you have, he calls his uncle in the morning. His uncle, pretty much up until the very final moments of this movie, does not believe him. Doesn't believe anything he's saying. He then has to try to convince Jane, which then Jane helps him out by going around the town to collect bottles and cans because she is bringing them to the Reverend, and she's pretty much going around trying to find anybody who has one eye. I love when she goes to the to the barber, and there's the dude sitting there with the towel on his face, and she walks over and undoes the towel on his face. I would have been like, "Excuse me."
All you can see is his nose and his mouth, and she's just like,
but like,
and then she wraps him back up and pats him on the head.
Sorry, I mean, she knew who it was, but it was still weird. Like, and like the two guys, like the barber and the dude in the chair, don't say anything to her as she walks over and does this.
Nope, nothing.
Like, oh, bye, Janie.
This is just an everyday thing.
So yeah, she finally makes it to the church, and he's gardening, and he, of course, it's like one of those moments where you don't see his face, and she doesn't see his face, so she goes to the garage to bring the cans, and that's when she notices the bat, the peacemaker, and she's like, oh, and then he shows up, and he gets really creepy, and she notices, of course, he's got the bandage over his eye, and she's like, I gotta go walk my fish. Bye.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just really tired. He's like, you can lay down in my house, and I'm like, oh, hello.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Because he like puts his hand on her shoulder, and I was like,
yeah, he's just being really
don't
weird.
Touch me.
Yeah, this is when he starts getting, as the film progresses, you could see how unhinged he starts becoming.
Yeah.
Well, it's also because they're,
figuring it
literally
out
poking the bear, literally.
Right.
I mean,
literally. Poking him right in his pee-pee hole. Get it?
There it is.
Excuse me, please don't poke me there.
Poke him in the eye hole.
It's my no-no square.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's such, dude. I'm not gonna. It's such low hanging fruit.
Literally, like his balls.
Yeah. So
that's yeah. Even if he wasn't a werewolf, that scene was par for the course. Let's just say that.
Wolfman's got nards, dude. I mean,
yeah, he does. So she goes back, and again, they try to have a conversation with Red to try to convince him, like, there's a werewolf, and he's like, there is no such thing as werewolves, and they're like, oh, whatever, dude. You're freaking town drunk. Like, you should be the one who believes this more than anyone here. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I love when he goes and talks to the sheriff, and he's telling the sheriff, like, all the information. The sheriff's like, all right, do you believe it? He's like, I don't even know. He's like, okay, thanks, Red. And he's like, and then Red just puts a cigar in his mouth and just walks out.
Well, he asked him, he's like, well, at least just check him out. And the sheriff's like, all right, I'll at least check him out. Like,
all right.
Because at this point, they got nothing to go on, so they might as fucking well. But that doesn't happen until after. That doesn't happen until after he gets.
That's after the high speed chase.
Yeah, after he gets the Reverend tries to
right.
ram him down.
Right.
Dude,
yeah, because that's what kind of convinces him to talk to the sheriff. Right. Oh, this
he sees the
chase
paint
scene
on the fender
is insane. So
menacing. Yeah.
So of course, this is when you get kind of like throughout the movie, Marty has always been very accepting of who he is. You know, the fact that he's stuck in a chair, he can't walk and all that. And then this is one of those scenes where he is watching kids play baseball, seeing, and it's like focusing on all of their legs, of course. And so he's kind of like in this weird depressive state, and kind of drops his guard, because then you see the car drive up behind him, and it's Reverend Lowe. And so Marty starts to go home, and Reverend Lowe is following him, and then he tries to drive him off the road. I'm like, damn, this escalated very quickly, to the point where you get this crazy scene on the bridge where he like drives Marty into the side of the bridge. Marty has to like get the thing started, and of course, like the last second start before he gets hit, backs up, and then hits the other side of the bridge. He's just constantly breaking boards on the bridge. And then he's getting chased down the road, freaking going down dirt roads that are closed. Then you get the scene where he goes into the bridge, like the broken down bridge. And this is when Lowe shows up. He like rolls in real slow, and then he like, it's not one of those dumb moments where you get a lot of movies where like someone's hiding in the most obvious spot and somebody just walks up and just, I think, do they just stare at it like a wall and they just do this? And then they just walk away.
No, he actually,
No, he actually knows he's in there. So he goes in and he confronts him, and he pretty much is like, yeah, I'm going to throw you in the river. You're going to drown. Like,
yeah, this is where he gets the lore. You get the lore dump there. Like he's like explaining him traveling town to town.
Yeah.
Because this kid fucking found him out.
Yeah. And of course he gets saved at the last second by one of the guys who lives on this street, who just comes out of nowhere with a tractor, and he's just like screaming for him to come help him. And then, Reverend Lowe kind of like slinks into the shadows, and then he disappears. So this is when he tells Red the whole situation. He goes to talk to the sheriff. You get that whole conversation. And then the sheriff goes out to the church to investigate. And he goes and he finds the car. He finds the paint job all scuffed up with the dent in the color of the wheelchair. And this is when we get the confrontation between him and Lowe, where, he pretty much is like telling him what he's looking for. And then Lowe just attacks him, freaking hits him in the head with the bat, freaking hits him again with the bat. This is when we get the transformation, like a full, like straight up transformation, which is very weird. But I loved it. It was great. It was so quick. Like you think of like one of the greatest werewolf transformation of all time. Of course, most people will probably say American Werewolf in London. But it's very slow. Like the whole process of him turning into the werewolf. Like this is like 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
This dude goes from, a person to a werewolf. And it's like, you just get to see it all. Like him, like his chest, like busts out, the hair growing, his face, like morphing, and the whole snout coming out and all that. But it's very quick, but it's so good. I'm going to say though, I'm not the biggest fan of the design of the werewolf in this, but I like the fact that you don't see it a lot. So it doesn't take away from the movie. So we saw a decent amount of him on the bridge, and we see a lot of him at the end, but it's not a lot. So it's not like, oh, that's horrible. It wasn't terrible, but it's not my favorite looking werewolf on film. But
you bring up American Werewolf in London, and you see that first initial change, and you see the pain that he goes through.
Oh yeah.
So it's slow from head to toe.
I mean, that was the whole point. Yeah, they wanted you to see the pain.
Well, this makes me think that he has changed several times.
Well, I mean, you can tell that throughout the movie.
And
how long has he been a werewolf? You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Like it makes you wonder all the places he says he's been before. Like how many before that?
Right.
Like did he leave? How many did he leave out before? And how old is he actually?
Sure.
Like
Silver Bullet
because you
prequel.
don't see the pain that he goes through.
Yeah. But also think about all the other werewolf transformations we've seen. Like in Trick or Treat, all they do is slice their skin off and boom, they're werewolf.
Yeah, no, I like that we're not seeing the same thing over and over again.
Exactly. Like in fucking Underworld, they just and they're
werewolves. Well,
werewolves.
that's all CG though. That's what I hate CG transformations because they're so fast. It's literally like bing bang boom, they're a fucking werewolf, and it's like you don't see that pain like Angela was talking about with American Werewolf in London, and like this one, you get it's quicker than that, but you still see everything that this guy is going through as he is turning into this werewolf. But yeah, it kind of seems like he has done it so many times that he is accustomed to the change. And as I stated earlier, this was, this could be as I guess the phase of the full moon progresses, he gets stronger. And so this is where he's gotten to the point where it's like he's mostly wolf. He's mostly the wolf, even when he's in human form.
I mean, that even dates back to the Lon Chaney stuff. And I know it's really camera techniques for that, but Lon Chaney sat in a chair and then time-lapsed him turning into a werewolf.
Right.
So I mean,
I love that too.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm down for any type of transformation, but my point was what Angela was saying is who knows how long he's been a werewolf to the point where it doesn't even bother him that he's, when he changes, he changes, but it's almost like now it's on command too, like when it gets closer to that moon. So he fucks up that sheriff.
Oh, he destroys him. Yep. He done. So this is when we have the final sit down with Red, Marty, and Jane, and they both give up their one. I think Marty has a pendant, and Jane has a crucifix, and they're like, make a silver bullet out of this. So Red goes down to the local sporting goods store,
the gunsmith,
and and the narration for this guy is like he has been alive for 1,000 years and he has mastered the craft of perfecting the silver bullet.
It's not his first time making it.
Not his first
the second one.
He's done at least 2 or 3.
Yeah,
because he's literally
expert at this point.
He's like, what do you need this for? What are you going to be doing with that? And he's like, oh, just to have it. I just figured it'd be cool to have. And he's like, it's for a werewolf, isn't it?
That's right. He just calls him out.
It's like,
just let me pay you for the bullet, please.
Yeah,
let me leave.
I just gotta go.
No questions.
Yeah.
Oh, God, so funny. Oh. So this is when you get the whole thing where Red in air quotes, wins a free trip to the Plaza in New York, which is
Ding
where
dang dong.
2 took place, right? Yeah.
Trump's Hotel, yeah.
Yeah. So he fakes a free trip for them. So did they just go all the way to New York and realize we don't have a fucking room? We don't have a stay? Like, motherfucker.
What is the Plaza? It doesn't exist.
They get sent to an address. It's just like a field.
Damn it.
He makes a fake golden ticket for them, like his the ransom note that dude. that
Yeah. We forgot to
dude makes
mention the
earlier.
ransom note.
Yeah.
Like it's just a fake note. He just gives them like, "Hey, you
That
win."
whole process of when Marty and Jane are 100% convinced that Lo is the werewolf. Marty does the classic ransom note, where you cut an individual letter and you create something.
He takes her magazines.
Yeah, he's like, we know who you are, what you are, so you should just kill yourself. And then you
Like,
see Lo
really?
read the note and just fold it up he's just angry.
But yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, because Gary Busey goes, I'm not the one that told the Reverend to go chew on a bunch of glass.
It makes you wonder, though, how many lines Gary Busey actually made up in the moment.
So he was
couple of
allowed
times.
to kind of go off the cuff on a lot of stuff. I know that
Yeah.
I looked into it, the conversation that him and the sister have, not his actual sister, so the mom.
Yeah.
The one they have when you first see Red, where he's talking about, like, he wants Marty to be able to live the way he wants to live, and of course the mom is being very protective, and I guess that was all that wasn't in the script. Like, they just kind of went off of each other, and
there's just several things he says that I'm like,
I love it when he gives him the new wheelchair, and he's just like, I feel like a virgin on prom night.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
He comes back and he's all laid on the ground. He goes, you okay?
What is he doing?
He's like dead.
Oh yeah, because he was so nervous. He's like, this kid's gonna die.
Yeah.
This kid's gonna die.
Dude.
Like, what am I allowed to say in front of this kid?
Oh my god, so good.
Hey, it was the 80s.
But I mean, the great thing about this movie that I notice is, like, they know he's an alcoholic, but it's also not just like a stereotype where, like, he's the drunk uncle and so we're gonna treat him like shit. Like, after he gives him the wheelchair, they have this nice family barbecue, and everybody seems to be smiling and having a good time. He's got to go, and everybody's like, bye, Red. It's a nice family situation.
Well, you also see, prior to that, I think it's at Brady's funeral, like, he's gonna drink and then decides not to.
Yeah, because he pulls the flask out at the funeral, and he's just like, he opens it up, looks at Marty, and he's just like, okay.
It's like this subtle thing where he's trying to do better about Marty after what his sister said. So
yeah, but at this point we know Reverend Lo's the bad guy because he has an eye patch. So.
Yep.
Reminds me of I don't know his name, but Dr. Evil's henchman.
Number two.
Number two. That's what I thought of every fucking time. I was like, number two.
He's handsome as fuck, dude. Like, even with the eye patch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just.
Dude, have you seen a picture of him lately?
Yeah.
He has still got the chin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. The chin never disappears. Oh, he was on Twin Peaks. That was another thing he was on. Yeah. I know there's a lot of Twin Peaks fans out there. So, yeah, the parents leave. So it's just Red and the kids. And they're going to stay up and wait for the wolf. And it gets to the point where Red kind of gives up and tells the kids to go to bed. But then Jane sees the wolf outside. And again, Red's like, oh, you're just seeing things, blah, blah, blah. Like, literally till the last moment, Red does not believe that there's a werewolf. Until the werewolf busts through the fucking wall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, like the Kool-Aid Man.
The funniest thing is they're focusing on the window, like you're expecting this thing to come through the window, and it just busts through the wall of all things.
Perfectly laid out around him.
It's
like
so
the
funny.
Kool-Aid Man,
I love Busey's physical acting and all this because he keeps jumping
around.
and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
But yeah, he gets tossed around the room. Oh, it's so good.
But,
and
Dan, can I ask you real quick? The silver bullet is loaded into the revolver already at that point. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
All they gotta do is pull the hammer back and shoot it. How the fuck did it fall out of the gun? Period.
He opened it.
Well, he took it out. He opened it.
He took it out.
Oh, okay. Because I'm sort of like, what? Like, it all happened so fucking fast. I'm like,
yeah.
I know what he's about to say.
Dude, I'm glad you mentioned it because there's like so much shit. I know it's a movie. I get it. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Prop gun. Fuck that. They just use real guns with nothing in them. So he's like has this gun and he's just like talking like this and like shaking at the kids. Like this fucker is loaded. It's not just this like he's just like whoa. And I was like, dude, even if it wasn't loaded, you don't do that with firearms.
But
you don't be pointing them and shaking them around.
He's got it in his hand like this, and he's pushing the wheelchair. Like I don't think you should be pushing the wheelchair.
Holster that
in your
motherfucker.
hand.
Put it in your belt. Like you're just something, man.
He has
like
it
come on.
sideways, holding on to the.
And he's like
handle of the
shaking it at the
wheelchair.
kids. Dude.
Here,
Like,
hold my
chill the
beer,
fuck
kids.
out.
Just like,
Jesus, Mr. Busey, calm down.
But dude, I love when he fucking fisticuffs with this werewolf man, and he gets
Oh
thrown
yeah.
everywhere. But it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the wolf's like enjoying it too, like at this point, because usually like everything we've seen so far, all the wolf kills have been he picks up the sister, like just picks her up and like looks at her and all that shit.
Yep.
Is taking his time with it because they literally tried to ruin what he has been keeping secret for who knows how long. And now he's just enjoying all of it. But what I'd be just as fucking mad as their parents walking back and I have these holes busted out of my house. Like, what the fuck did y'all do while we were not at a fake hotel in New York?
And
was a
let's
hell of
get
a
to let's
party.
get to that, okay? Let's get to this real quick.
yeah, because he has a cigarette that he drops in his lap, and it's like, hey, you could have,
he's like,
your gun could have went off at this point. Like, hello, here you are falling asleep with your cigarette in your hand. Like, whee,
It was the
So, yeah,
80s.
crotch is on fire.
You get the whole thing where the bullet falls on the floor, it rolls into the vent, and so Marty has to try to fish it out of the vent as
Perfect spot.
Uncle Red's getting thrown all over this room, and the sister's just sitting there screaming. He finally gets it, loads the gun, shoots the werewolf in the other eye, and
Hell of a shot, mind you.
oh yeah,
With
and,
no recoil, right?
no,
Nope, just does it.
No recoil.
and kills the werewolf, and then we get the very slow transformation back to a human. Here's my question. How the hell are you going to prove that this man was a werewolf?
Well, he's naked.
Yeah.
Dicks out, I mean.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
He's naked. His dick's out.
He's
He must have been a werewolf.
He's got werewolf dick. I knew it.
Yep. Oh, that's weird. It pulls into him.
That's
when
the
he
only.
stands
That's
up.
the only
Fuck's
part of him
going
that's still
on?
really hairy is just the crotchal region.
It's like the snout of a werewolf.
Hey, I mean, he's got the happy trail.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
There you
Show
go.
him load it. Show him.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so I just want to point this out. This happens in both instances of this. So I'm watching this, and I didn't pay attention this first time. Angela's got this
Where
pulled
he
up over here.
loads the gun.
Well, when he takes the round out, of the with Busey. He's like, I'm taking this, or Drunkle, whatever we want to call him here.
Scary
So-
Busey.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he takes the round out of it. He has it at the 12 o'clock position. If he would have pulled the hammer back to fire, it wouldn't have fired.
Nope.
It would have hit an empty cylinder, because when you do it, it clocks to the next cylinder, it cycles. So he should have had a 1 to the left. He should have the 10 o'clock position, so it cycled to the 12 and fire. And even when Marty loaded it was the same thing, top position. Pull the trigger, it would have been blank. Anyway, it's not nobody's that shit. Most people aren't gonna notice.
They gotta
Spin it, Russian roulette,
and then
woo.
But of course, once the transformation is done, we get a final jump scare of Low, and then he falls back. And then
That was come
Marty
back?
makes a joke about his legs. I
He's
love
like,
what
"My
they're like,
legs, I don't think
Marty,
I
are you
can
okay? And
walk."
he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to walk. I can't feel my legs.
That's so good.
I love it.
See, he even makes fun of it, guys. We
I
can
know,
too,
this
all
was
right?
great. I mean, not that Corey Haim was actually
Dude.
actually that type of
That
person,
just
but-
reminds me of Labyrinth all over.
Dance
like-
magic dance. You think he can? His legs don't work.
Not him, the werewolf.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, no, I will say, out of all the transformations, I didn't chime
know
in
he
because you
can't
guys pretty much
dance.
covered the bases. I like my favorite of the thing is actually when he untransforms after he dies.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
I
like
like
that in all
Yeah.
reverse and shit.
It
That
was
looks
all
cool.
It was all filmed in reverse too.
It's
Yeah.
cool as shit. I love it.
Yeah,
It looks
'cause
great.
The awesome thing was that Everett McGill, who plays Reverend Lowe, was also in the werewolf makeup. Like, he was the werewolf the whole time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's good. Good for him.
I just think it's really cool that they started this movie and they didn't have a werewolf. It
What do you-
just kind of like evolved. They didn't have any They didn't have a werewolf costume.
Oh, when they started filming the movie?
When they started filming this.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So.
Well, they originally, like his face, they actually molded it mid-movie too because it looked too much like a bear.
Yeah.
And they would call it a werebear, and they were pretty pissed off about that.
Well, no, werebears are dope
the
as fuck.
Werebear stare.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, werebear stare. He does that a lot in this movie, actually.
Yeah, he does.
All right. Well, that is the end of Silver Bullet. So let's go around and talk about what we thought of the movie, our final thoughts on Silver Bullet. We're going to start with Dan, who picked the movie. Dan, what was your final thoughts on Silver Bullet after seeing it?
This felt like a Stephen King movie, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all, because I like Stephen King stuff, at least what I have seen. I like it. It felt 80s. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed for somebody that didn't pick up on like all the things. I'm usually pretty decent at spotting, like, this is the guy, you know. Right. No red herrings for me. And I thought they did a good job. Like, I actually didn't know for a while. Like, I was kind of who guessing for a little bit until once they had the church scene, and I kind of was like, yeah, that's the dude. I thought the actors did a fine job. So a lot of people I noticed, I recognized from other work, as we've talked about through this. And while I didn't mind the wolf, he wasn't my favorite werewolf, as I said, but I thought he was fine for what they were doing. And I think how they shot it a lot in the darkness and under the veil, not really always seeing full shots of it all the time. I like that. Even if it looked great, the costume, like, hypothetically, was just the best werewolf ever made. I wish they would still have done that approach. Like, I just like the shadows and not fully seeing everything. And Gary Busey was wonderful, and his like random shit he would say, and I was like, it's such a Buseyism, like, you know, just weird bullshit that he would just spout out of his mouth. And I can't tell if it's just Stephen King with some of his weird shit he says in his books, or it's just Gary Busey being Gary Busey. So, but it's a good time. I mean, I definitely recommend watching it. It's definitely worth watching again. I like it. It reminds me of
it gets the seal of approval.
Absolutely, like it reminds me of like It and like the original It. And then like The Stand, and like I just get vibes of shit like that from it. So it's good times. I'm surprised Stephen King wasn't in this. He wasn't anywhere in this, was he?
No.
He's usually in his own movies. Okay, that's fine.
No, I love his little cameos in his movies.
I know. He could have been the green shit dude before he turned into the green shit from
Creepshow.
Yeah, Creepshow. Yeah.
I would have been that old lunkhead.
Yeah, he would have blended right in, dude. 100%.
Angela,
it's your turn.
So coming from a Stephen King fan, this actually wasn't one that I watched.
You didn't read the book, did you?
I did not read the book. I was actually going to audio book it at work, because that's about the only time I can read anymore. I really enjoyed this. Like Dan said, we were pointing out people that we have seen before. Terry O'Quinn, he was John Locke in Lost.
I think that's like his most famous role now.
Well, he had to point that out, and I think it was about 5 or 10 minutes afterwards, and I'm like,
well, because
it is him.
I kept hearing the name, and I was like, why the fuck do I know this? And then we're going to shout him out because we have to. It's Movie Dumpster, because I've listened to all their shit. And I was like, Stepfather. It's like, what I know him from because of their podcast on it. And I was like, God, that name. And I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, it's John Locke. I told her, and I know she watched Lost. So.
Yeah. And coming from the big boom of werewolf movies, I feel this kind of came below certain ones, because we watched American Werewolf in London before this one, and I love the transformation of that movie and the whole werewolf thing that it went with.
I feel like there's like different werewolf movies.
And I get everybody has their reiteration of what a werewolf should look like, act like, you know. And I don't think this is at the bottom. I just don't think it was at the peak of what could have been. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie and would definitely watch it again.
Dustin.
I want to pick and choose like what I pick at, like what little things I nitpick at, because there's always something there.
Dustin.
It's my favorite werewolf movie. Like I've loved this movie since I was a kid. This one for me sits right underneath Dog Soldiers, and the werewolf, like I said it earlier, man, like it's not too scary. And the thing with Stephen King is a lot of his shit, a lot of his monsters are like round, if that makes sense. Have y'all seen Night Flyer?
No.
The vampire in that looks goofy as fuck, dude, but that's a Stephen King monster. This is the same deal with this, man. People who dog this werewolf, it's like to each their own. Like Angela said, everyone has their favorite type of werewolf. This just happens to be my favorite one. I'll always champion it. I'll always recommend it. It's also a breezy watch. Like you're invested the entire time. So, yeah, I will. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just piggyback off that. I just watching it for the first time all the way through yesterday. I was like, man, I hate that it took me so long to do it, because it was a fun watch. It gets you right from the beginning. And it doesn't let up. The kills are brutal. Even kills you don't see. So like, the Brady's death is a hardcore death, because you just can imagine how much, like, what it is or what he looks like and all that, and using your imagination of like, what did the father see? Oh man, it hits you hard. Gary Busey is always blast. Corey Haim, I enjoyed his performance in this. I think everybody in this movie did a great job at their respected roles. Even, you got shitty Andy, who's just riling people up in the bar, but I feel like you always got to have that type of character. And then he gets killed. So, whoops. But yeah, this is a great movie. I had a lot of fun with it. It's Stephen King. I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I definitely want to read the novella now, just to kind of see, because I've heard that the novella is very similar to the movie. So I want to see kind of the differences and see what it's like, because I love King's writing, even when he was coked out of his mind. Now,
just a lot.
Yeah. Now we're going to go to social media, because as you know, we like to reach out to everybody on social media and let you guys voice your opinions on the movies we are covering. So first, we are going to go over to Twitter. Yes, I'm going to just call it Twitter. Fuck the other name it has. Our first comment is from Mickey, your cell phone wallet keys, who says, my absolute favorite werewolf movie. Everett McGill does a fantastic job of riding that line between guilt and indulgence. Our next one is from David Palmer, or at Mr. Palmer with a 3. Says, first time watch last year and discussed with the amazing folks at Gobble Podcast, which ended up a really fun episode. So go check out that episode. Great movie, shit werewolf design, clever whodunit style film. Gary Busey is a legend, and Corey Haim is less of a prick than usual. Dave from VHS Abyss.
To each their own.
Yeah, like I said,
I mean, different strokes, different folks. That's cool, man.
To be honest, like I stated, I didn't hate the design of this. I've seen better, but I didn't hate it. I did watch some videos about this movie after I had watched the movie, and yeah, there were some that said that they liked the design, some that said it was the same kind of opinion as this, where it was, probably one of the worst, or whatever. But yeah, it's a great thing about opinions. Everybody has one.
And assholes.
Yes.
Yeah.
At least I hope so. I wouldn't want to beat the guy who doesn't have an asshole. And our last one on Twitter is from Chops, or at Mongolian Chomp. Chop. That's a name. There's a very interesting, cool scene involving a church. I didn't remember it when I saw this as a kid. Yeah, and it's probably the best scene in the whole movie. So, thanks for your comments over there. Now I'm going to go over to Instagram, because I think I had one. The one comment over on Instagram was from Nerd at the Movies, who says, one of my faves. I love that people love this movie. And then I'm going to go to Threads, because I think we might have had one there.
Buried in the threads of time.
I was wrong. So that was it. That was all of our comments. Thank you to everybody who commented. Make sure to follow us on all the social medias if you want to participate in the conversation about the movies we're covering, because it's a lot of fun reading your thoughts on the movies, because we get like I said, we get opinions that are all over the place, and it's great. So thank you very much. All right. Well, that's it for Silver Bullet. Now let's talk about what, Dan? You had your finger up.
I want to say one thing before we get off here, and this is really important. I did this for Dustin.
Andrew looks so mad at you just
really quick.
Need to go pee.
Oh.
Really quick. Dustin, this is for you and the guys you work with. I've done this whole podcast. I don't have any pants on.
Oh,
I can confirm.
Just letting y'all know. I wanted to start the season off right.
There it is.
Wait, like there's nothing? Like you're
like Reverend
like
Lowe style.
sweaty ass.
I wear
balls
No,
touching
ew.
the chair.
I would not let him do that.
All right,
No, he has
Angela,
underwear.
while this is all going on, go to the bathroom.
Okay, please.
Debbie,
I was trying to wait.
Just go. It's like a pair of cheeks and then like the top of a little drumstick, like right there on the.
Do not make me laugh.
I'm just making comments. It's just what I do. It's not like targeted.
Look
at this. I'm victimized.
What I like the most about this dude, I didn't think about this, but how you brought up they wanted it to be like Jaws. I'm glad they didn't have like the werewolf scenes and then like cutaway shots of like a wolf. You know, like how there's the cutaway scenes of fucking great white sharks.
Oh yeah.
In Grizzly, there's bear, and then there's cutaway scenes of bears.
Yeah.
It would have clashed a little bit.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's a werewolf and it's like this mythical creature, it would have kind of thrown me off. Like the fact that they used actual great white footage in Jaws when it's about a great white. Like, it doesn't blend well now if you think like looking back at it.
Yeah,
but I ignore it, so whatever.
It was done better.
It would have been weird if the zombie beats a shit out of a shark, an actual shark,
real zombie fake
shark, tiger shark of all sharks. They're like, let's have this dude dressed up as a zombie battling against a tiger shark underwater. Like, what the fuck?
Listen, just grab him, just get him. Like I tell every time, just get him from behind. Squeeze as hard as you can and just scream. At least you can't because you're underwater. They're gonna hear you. But like, just scream. Where's your dominance now? I have thumbs.
Who's your daddy? Yeah, but no, Dan.
Evolution sides with me.
The scene where Reverend Lowe's like transforming from werewolf to him at the end when he gets killed. What was cool is like when you see like the snout like going back in. They filmed that shit in reverse, and they had like a tiny wire hooked to like the nostril of the snout, and they just pulled that shit really slow. So it like pulled it out to look like it's fucking tight, dude. Like if you get a chance to watch any of the behind the scenes stuff on this movie, you should do it.
Absolutely.
It's pretty good.
Oh, she's back. Good. It's all right. We said nothing but nice things while you were gone.
And you stole my water.
Tits.
So next week, for week 2 of our journey through 1985, it is my pick. Huh?
The return tour.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
Season 2, baby. Well, this is my pick, and I was digging through the trenches to try to find what movie do I want to cover for this series. And I was like, we could cover something that's been covered a lot by a lot of other podcasts, or I could cover a movie that I don't know if I ever hear anyone talk about. And I found the perfect one, and that is 1985's Return to Oz.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Disney nightmare fuel.
That's it, dude. There you go.
Yeah. So, we're going to be doing Return to Oz next week. And I'm very excited because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. All I remember is all the scary bits. And that is a acid-induced nightmare trip.
Is that the one with the people that like the weird tall things with like bike?
The wheels.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. I get that mixed up with the long gangly fuckers from Black Crystal or whatever. Dark Crystal. That's it.
Yeah. It's going to be a good one. It's on Disney Plus right now. So if you want to watch along with us or watch it before we cover it, that's where it is right now. I know. And if for some reason you haven't seen Silver Bullet, it's on Amazon right now for like, you could buy it digitally for like $4 or $5, or you can buy the Scream Factory Blu-ray. I think it's on sale on Amazon for like $20, or buy the 4K for I think it's like 27 or 28. That's about it. Dustin, we always appreciate you being on the show, man. It's always great to be able to be like, hey, you want to be on the show? And you say yes pretty much every time. So.
Yeah. That was a ton
So
of fun,
hey,
man.
you never know. Maybe Dustin will be back next week when we talk about Return to Oz. Well, it'll be a surprise, okay?
Yeah.
Dustin, for one, because I don't think we did it at the beginning of the show, but you've been on the show plenty of times. But why don't you just tell everybody about Flicks and Friends and where everybody can find you?
We dissect movies and have no, we're on
You bastard.
You son of a bitch.
That seems targeted. I don't like that.
I feel attacked.
No,
So,
just making fun
yeah.
of me when I did it the last time.
Yeah. Yeah. We pretty much just get people together. We talk about movies. We're on every podcasting platform you could possibly think of, minus YouTube. We theme our months each season, so that's always fun. And yeah, that's about it. We don't really dissect the movie, we just have conversation. So
yeah, Dustin leaves it to us.
Yeah.
We try to we want to have different shows, so he stopped dissecting films and let us do it. Poorly, but we do it.
We just try and chop it with a rusty knife.
Yeah.
Why's your knife upside down?
I don't know.
No wonder it wasn't cutting. All of Dustin's links will be down in the description, of course. Make sure to go follow Flicks and Friends. It's a great show. Great show. It's one of those shows where if you even got a little bit of time, you can get through an episode. They're nice and they're easy to get through, and they're great conversation. Listening to Dustin and Paul. Paul brings a lot to the show. That dude's got a wealth of knowledge. You want some knowledge? Like, I can't wait to have him on the show because he's going to bring so much. It's going to be so exciting. I'm so excited.
Ready. Yeah.
I gotta do my work, man. I gotta do my research. I don't want to. It's gonna get outperformed on my own show here.
Hey, you can sit back, Parker. We got Paul.
You have Dustin, and then you have Paul, and then you have Sean.
We have Sean. Yeah, listen. That's the great thing about Flicks and Friends is it's three guys with.
I love Sean.
Most of the time, it's like each have like their own opinions. They have their own what they bring to the table. It's great. Flicks and Friends, go check them out. Links in the description. You can find us at Dissect That Film on all the social medias. Of course, you're listening to us right now, so you know where to find us on the podcast apps. But what I'm going to tell you is leave us 5 stars. It's free, and it helps us, get into more people's ears because that's a good thing. We want that.
Do it.
And we want to try to hit 30 reviews on Spotify. We want to try to hit 20 reviews on Apple Podcasts because a lot of Apple Podcast listeners of the show and no reviews. Help us out.
How dare you?
Help us out.
Come
on.
Listen,
and also
we might know a werewolf, okay? We might know one, okay?
Yeah, it's true.
And you can also do it on Good Pods as well. It's a cool app. You can rate and review single episodes. You can do the whole show. It's a cool little app. And we're on the YouTube. That's the word I was trying to think of. We're on YouTube. We have video form where you can look at our ugly mugs as we talk about whatever movies. And we also have a Patreon, patreon.com/dissect that film, where we have a Patreon exclusive show called The Monster Zone, hosted by Dan and Angela, where we talk about monster movies. We spin the wheel and we talk about monster movies. Most of them have been from the 50s, at least lately, but we're having a great time doing that. And
the 50s likes big things too.
Yeah, and we got more to come. We got more to come for Patreon. We got commentary tracks. We got watch-alongs coming down the pipeline. We had just a lot of cool things. And also, if you want to join at the $1 tier, you can participate in our polls for end of month movie watches, like we're going to be doing the next few months. So, hey, jump over there and help support the show. It's really appreciated. Not necessary, but it is appreciated. I think that's it. I think that's everything. Did I miss anything? We good?
I don't know.
Wash your fucking hands.
Yeah, do that.
That's all I got.
And also, watch out for that one-eyed man. Bark at the moon. All right, everybody. I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, and that is Dustin from the Flicks and Friends podcast. And this has been episode 1 of season 2. Oh God, that just doesn't slip off the tongue right, guys. But no, this has been the season premiere of season 2, however the fuck you want to say this, of Dissect That Film. We'll see y'all again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
How the fuck am I gonna I don't know how to exit intro this show anymore.
It's been too long, dude. You've gotten soft.
I
Now I
know.
have to go.